Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move on this Monday. Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter Emily Grafeo in studio with us. Boeing.
This stock has been up for 5 straight days.
Cool. That's a good trend.
Yeah, I actually didn't even realize that until I looked it up on the Bloomberg terminal, but it was higher today. It closed up about 2.4%. A couple things going on with Boeing. So today, Airbus agreed to take over assets and sites, at least some of them, from Spirit AeroSystems, which clears the way for the aerospace supplier, not the airline, to be acquired back by its former parent, Boeing. And then they also got an upgrade over at Bernstein. So Bernstein said that Boeing is now making the progress it needed for the growth trajectory, and that there are still some risks for the company, one of them being high FAA scrutiny. But they did raise the price target to $218, which right now it's at about $182.
So that would be quite a bump. Yeah. You mentioned the 5 days up in a row, 5 consecutive days of gains. Let's try that again, shall we? So the stock up almost 15% in that time. That's quite a bump to the upside.
I am looking at the chart zooming out for Boeing. Right. And this is a stock that's still down 50% from its highs back in 2019.
There's been so much negativity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a couple CEOs,
multiple years.
Yeah,
of
we're
not
talking
being able to get on track.
Big questions about the future of the company.
Yeah,
no question.
Future of Nvidia.
Okay,
how's it looking?
So Nvidia was down 2% today. However, I will couch this by saying it was following a very strong week. It was up like 9.4% last week, but today it was underperforming the Nasdaq. The Journal reported that Huawei is getting ready to test a new and powerful AI processor that the Chinese tech giant Huawei hopes can replace some Nvidia products. Honestly, I'm surprised the stock isn't down more. That seems like a big deal.
But I think it also does show, look, people are going after Nvidia. Look over your shoulder. You're not the only game in town, especially with the export restrictions on Nvidia and what China has been prevented from doing.
And this wasn't a chip that goes after Blackwell.
Exactly. This is the Hopper technology.
Correct. But the point
H100.
was that everybody is kind of gunning for Nvidia and trying, and you shouldn't rule anybody out in this race.
Hey, I think Ian King has told us that Jensen is pretty paranoid about that.
Yeah.
And he keeps things moving forward.
Keeps those people working big time.
They work hard. I have read in reporting.
So this next one, I've actually talked with their C-suite and did a piece for the CFO show that we do on Bloomberg. And what's interesting is...
You did?
I did.
I didn't know that.
Oh, wait. Didn't I?
I don't know.
Oh, no. I didn't do, actually.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, but I was like, I didn't see that episode.
No, but we had the CFOs on. Sorry.
Okay.
We did the CFO show, but we had the CFOs on air with us.
That's what it is. I'm like, you traveled to Switzerland? That's pretty cool.
I have such a Monday brain today.
Wow.
It's so terrible. But I bought their sneakers, and my daughter was making so much fun of me.
Wait,
Your
really?
doctor was?
My daughter.
Oh, daughter. Okay.
Wait, they're supposed to be really trendy.
Hold on. Name the company,
you.
guys. Come on.
On Holding,
Okay,
up
we're talking about
4%
On
today.
I love them, and I love the way they sell them.
Yeah.
And their.
Do you like? Are they comfortable, Carol? Should I get them?
I love them. Yeah,
I think
super comfortable.
I think. Well, I don't know your daughter, but I don't think she was justified in this instance.
Thank you, Emily Grafeo.
They're very trendy. They're very in. And that's also what Wall Street is saying. Citi raised their price target and their rating on the Swiss shoemaker, said they're one of the fastest growing brands in the athletic apparel and footwear industries.
Believe it.
I'm just going to throw this out there, guys, okay? Look, I don't know anything about fashion. You know that from looking at me. But Carol's daughter's pretty cool, okay?
Oh, no.
Pretty cool.
So
okay, well,
I would just
what
say,
sneakers is she wearing?
I would just say we should probably listen to what she has to say when it comes to fashion.
I think she has the old classic. Is it the Adidas?
Those are back.
Everybody's
The
Sambas.
Sam Smith.
She goes. I think so. Yeah. She goes
I
from
have
sneaker
those.
to
That's
sneaker.
cool.
Yeah.
What's interesting is we were on a bus in London, and like there was this guy in front of us, and his wife was making fun of him for having the exact same sneaker I had. And my daughter just looks at me. She's like, "Hey."
Oh no! Tell her to call Citi up.
Love it.
I love them. They're super comfortable.
I mean, the stock speaks for itself. It's been rising for 5 straight days. And there's a tariff story. The analyst also said it has a geographically diverse sales base and low sourcing exposure in China. And there are Swiss brands. They could be better. They could be in a better position than the U.S. brands if there's backlash related to tariffs.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.